Folks, we're going to delve a bit into some history here. Some good history, we might say, because, well, as you all know, Big Apple crime is rotten to the core. And now there's only one way to keep the peace, viewers. The way of the ninja. Introducing the deadliest fighting skills the game world has ever seen. 10 awesome powers, including the art of invisibility, so we can disappear and become invulnerable to attack. The art of firing. Incinerate enemies caught in your deadly ring of fire. The art of teleportation, which freezes time to reposition yourself and surprise attackers. That's all the box says for Wrath of the Black Manta from Taito in 1990. Also known as Ninja Cop Saizo in Japan. Ninja Cop, yes, because that's cool. Taito handled the North American release of this. AI developed it. Kyugo published it in 1989 in Japan, and it came out in Europe in 1991. The idea here, we are a ninja, a sad-faced ninja, a puppy dog eyes ninja, who has to save kidnapped children. Ninja Gaiden, this is not. Gaiden. In the game, we go through 5 levels. We use throwing stars, which are incredibly slow, and special ninja arts to stop a gang and the evil mastermind behind a slew of kidnappings. One of the kidnapped children is a student of Black Manta Sensei Taro. The Black Manta has many powers, which he gets after beating a level. The player can choose which power to use by pressing start. These powers can help the Black Manta defeat enemies and bosses more quickly. The Black Manta can save kidnapped children hidden throughout each level. However, it plays no role in completing the game and does not warrant any kind of special bonus. Part of the last level is seen through a first-person perspective. Towards the end of the stage, the Black Manta has to defeat one of the bosses from the previous levels before he goes face-to-face with the final boss himself. There are differences, notable differences in this game between different versions. Before Wrath of the Black Manta was released in the US and Europe, as we mentioned, it was known as Ninja Cop Saizo in Japan, with several notable differences. Graphically, many of the sprites and artwork were altered between versions. All of the cutscenes in Ninja Cop are different from those used in Black Manta. The graphics in these scenes are more in the style of anime or manga than the more realistic graphics used in the US and Europe games. Yes, because these people look real. Tiny, the boss of the first stage, is also different in both versions, with the Ninja Cop version of him being more in the style of anime, and it's a little more animated than the Black Manta version. The Japanese game also has him shoot a projectile from his fists, where the other versions do not. The Rio de Janeiro stage on the Japanese game has a boss creature made of electricity. Yes. Where in Black Manta, the boss is replaced with the Voodoo Warrior. Because when you think voodoo, you think Rio. The backgrounds for these boss fights are different in both versions. And finally, the sprites used for jumping upward are different in both versions. The Japanese game sprite is drawn to show speed lines rather than the Manta's feet while jumping upwards. There are 6 stages in Ninja Cop, while only 5 in Black Manta. The second stage in Ninja Cop is completely removed from Black Manta. The Japanese exclusive stage also has a floating eyeball boss that isn't in Black Manta. The final stage of the game, there are also a couple of alterations. In the Japanese game, you must take on all of the bosses from the previous levels, where in Black Manta, you only have to take on one of them. The final boss is also completely different. In Black Manta, the player only has to fight a character using 4 ninja arts. In Ninja Cop, the player has to take on, get this, a spaceship which drops a variety of enemies from the game. After that, the game's final boss transforms into an alien, which the player must fight normally without using ninja arts. In addition to all these aforementioned changes, both games have completely different soundtracks, and many of the ninja arts are learned in a different order between each game. Why? It's nobody's business but the Turks. When Ninja Cop was localized, all the game's cutscenes were replaced with the more realistic drawings, as we talked about. The American and European versions of the game were sent we're set to star the Aquaman villain Black Manta, with Aquaman being the final boss of the game. Due to copyright issues, however, this idea was dropped and a generic ninja based on Dolph Lundgren was used instead. Now think about this for a minute, viewers. Dolph Lundgren. That's the guy from Rocky IV. When you think ninja, you think tall, blonde Russian man, right? No, duh. That or Lee Van Cleef. It has been discovered that one of these particular cutscenes drawings were copied from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. The image in question, the face of an evil-looking man with a mustache, was notably featured when interrogating an enemy in the first level. Even with all that, people rate this game about a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna follow along with that. It is just ridiculous. The controls aren't great. The bosses are like bosses out of Totally Rad, but no health bar. The cutscenes are just silly. It's kind of like they wanted Ninja Gaiden style cutscenes, but they didn't know anybody who worked on it, so they like, alright, so in Ninja Gaiden, you talk and then the face comes up and then you have the thing and then there's a lady with a gun and then you get it, then you, oh my god, it's really cool. And this other guy's like, ninja. They're kind of sad, right? And the other guy in the room's like, nah, they're more like Dolph Lundgren. Oh. Okay. You know what, though? It's... Play it. Play it once. Play through the first stage. You owe it to yourself to play it.